What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of the 2-6 Appear Rage podcast. We didn't have a podcast last week, man. Just life is catching up to us,
We got
man.
buried. Yeah, dude, we got buried in a lot of stuff, and you've also been covering, and from what it seems like, you might be doing full-time for We Are Wrestling with Donnie, and honestly, that's a fantastic idea. Like, there's no better co-host, honestly, that could help guide that show in the direction that it needs to go than you. So,
Yeah, man.
really pumped for it. It is called fucking We Are Wrestling. You guys will find them right on YouTube. Absolutely amazing stuff in terms of coverage and, you know, all fun jazz that has to do with the wrestling world.
You also have a podcast that you just started on your own. Pretty much just shooting the shit with some people that inspire you and, you know, motivate you to make content and stuff. Tell us a little bit about it.
Basically, I get to meet and sit down with some of the, like he said, the guys that have inspired me and everything. But these are guys that I'm genuine fans of, you know, on YouTube and everything. That, you know, I was watching their material for years, you know, and I just did the first episode, The Evening Rager, like Dan just mentioned, and it was with Dave Abramitis from Apparitions, and he was also Dave Scott on YouTube, who I know him from. And like, you know, obviously I've stated in the podcast and the podcasts that we've done before that I had no idea who he was, and then found out after the reaction who he was, and we obviously got into that on the podcast, and really exciting stuff. But other than that, how's life, man?
Life is good, man. check out what I just got in the mail, man.
What'd you just get in the mail? Hell yeah, fuck yeah, man.
I'm gonna start vlogging some more on my phone and stuff. It's a microphone, you know.
That is going to be absolutely fucking excellent when, you know, conventions start becoming more of a, you know, a frequent thing again with a little bit more of normalcy. It's going to be awesome when you go to meet, you know, wrestlers and everything during the fucking meet and greets. You know, for example, the Hardys at the Zombie Hideout. Are you going?
Possibly. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure yet because we are talking about possibly going to that show out in Connecticut when they take on Enzo and Cass. So I might just hold off on it and just meet them there.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet them there too. And like I'm gonna pay separately for fucking photo ops and shit and all that shit because I love the Hardys. That is like literally like just thinking about it is getting me so fucking excited, dude. Like this is my first time seeing Jeff live. I've never seen Jeff wrestle live ever.
Oh,
I've
really?
only seen Matt. I've only seen Matt. The night, remember back in 2005, the night that Matt Hardy came back and he was in like his white fucking tank top, the fucking the camouflage pants and shit, and Vince brought him back in a limo and shit.
Yeah.
I was there. I was at Mohegan Sun that night. That was the night I saw Matt for the first time, and like I obviously knew who Matt Hardy was beforehand, but that was my first time seeing him live.
That was around the Edge feud.
Yes, it was. It was during the Edge feud because I saw Edge live too. So like, I'm just, dude, it excites me knowing that I'm finally seeing Jeff, and that is just both of them together. It's like Christmas, dude. It's like Christmas to me.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. What do you think about Edge's heel turn that we saw on Raw?
Phenomenal. All right, no pun intended, but I'm gonna leave that there. But phenomenal. All right, so I want to talk about that segment real quick because I need to get this out of my fucking system, dude. Because I've only been able to talk to my boss at work because he's a huge fucking wrestling fan too. He's an AEW fucking fanatic, ex WWE obviously, but not only did that just feel like fan service in the way that it came together because we knew it was going to be AJ, because WWE does in very rare points listen to their fans, and that time they were listening because even they agreed that is a money match, dude. Especially like the way that he's like, oh, you want to see who it is? He's like, so do I. Let's not fucking wait. He's like, what happened to this place? And all of a sudden, the moment AJ's music started fucking hitting, I was like, huh. And then he didn't just walk out like he usually does. Like he had his fucking entrance back, fucking all that shit. They even gave him pyro again. I'm like, dude, they're like the singles competition. AJ Styles is back, and I'm fucking here for it, dude. Like just the way that it all went down to the ring with Edge being like fucking, you know, he's like, oh, I accept. He's like, oh, good, because, you know I wanted this match for a long time. You wanted this match for a long time. And then they both were pumping up the crowd separately. Like, we all know you wanted this match for a long time. So everybody, dude, it was just a fucking hype train in general, dude. And then the heel turn was necessary because the only reason, if you really think about it, the only reason that he went heel turn and is being the heel of this is to get the old AJ back, and he's doing it as a work. Like it's not really like heel, but he's going to those ends to push AJ in a heel fashion. So I think it was incredible. Edge is obviously a legendary promo fucking deliverer. Like
Yep.
his execution is incredible now, especially with his seasoned fucking acting roles and everything. Like he looked like when like after he like I think it was before the first concerto or it was like almost before the last concerto. He like looked off to like the crowd and he started looked like he was about to cry and then just went right back and just started beating the shit out of him. I'm like, we got the rated R superstar back. '06 fucking Edge versus fucking TNA AJ Styles, the Bulldog AJ Styles. Like, this is fucking ridiculous, dude. I am here for it. I'm here for it.
What about when Edge was like, I want the legit AJ back. I don't want the
The
AJ that was
tag team bitch.
Omos's bitch.
He's like the tag team, fucking Omos's tag team bitch. Oh my god, dude! The moment that came out, I was like, oh yep, this is gonna be something. Like this is he's trying to make it personal right now to make this shit fucking flare at WrestleMania, dude. Like I'm beyond myself, man. I'm absolutely beyond myself.
Yeah, but as far as like WrestleMania as a whole, now that the reunification match is not going to be technically reunifying the titles,
Yeah,
I'm not really here nor there with it. The only match that I'm really looking forward to is Edge and AJ, and I hope it steals the show.
yeah. I'm obviously, 100% like I believe that should be a headliner on night 1. Like I feel like that should be a fucking headliner,
Yep.
100%. Because obviously night 2 is they're going to save all of like the huge shit. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
assuming, fucking night 1 make Edge and AJ the fucking main event easy. I'm not too sure what the rest of the card's looking like because I think I don't care about it that much, and which is horrible. Like I know that, okay, so maybe I do know a few matches, but there's only Edge and AJ really that I really want to see. Like that and Stone Cold and fucking Kevin Owens, obviously. Obviously it's not official yet, but it's gonna happen. It's
Hopefully,
gonna fucking
hopefully
happen.
within the next couple weeks on Raw, we see Austin because they're gonna have to. Austin's gonna have to show up on Raw. They're gonna have to build towards the match.
Hmm.
They're having a hard time selling tickets to both nights, so they're gonna want all the promotion they can get. And with
Hmm.
having Austin back for the first time since '03, I mean that's gonna be huge for them.
That is like 100% accurate. That is completely accurate. I definitely think that fucking Steve Austin should be showing up within the next like he should be showing up this Monday if anything. Like I'm almost like at this point I'm almost guaranteeing this Monday or the next. I am guaranteeing it because like if it's not this Monday, it's fucking crazy. It'd be nuts to have him come out at WrestleMania alone. Like it would be like
Yeah,
nuts. Like at that point, like WWE, like you're already doing a lot of fucked up things, but you have to have common sense to not do this. Like you don't just bring him out on one night. You have to give him a feud. You
did
have to
you
give him a feud.
did you watch Vince McMahon's interview yesterday on the Pat McAfee show?
I didn't. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten the chance to.
So I'm not. I'll let you go watch it on your own time whenever you get a chance to. But he did say in the interview, he said a couple key points or whatever. But you haven't seen it, so there's no point in like going in that much of a discussion of it. But
Yeah,
he did say that he wants Pat McAfee to be in a match at Mania. So Pat McAfee is on the card and
you just
scheduled
don't
to
know
be in a
who his
match.
actual opponent is. And you said it's
I
gonna be
think
Austin Theory.
it's gonna be Austin Theory. That's what
That
I think.
see, I see a lot of potential in Austin Theory. I see a lot, like more so now than his first run in on the main roster. Like I genuinely think that he could do some really good shit. Like I
Yeah.
think that he is a future fucking star. For whatever reason, like I'm really impressed with his in ring ability right now. Like really impressed, especially during the chamber. Really impressed, dude. I really think that he's going to be getting a significant push soon, especially since he's working under McMahon directly. So I'm stoked for him. So if that's the case, I'm gonna give it a watch. Like I'm down for it, even if McMahon is part of the match. I'm down to give it a watch
Yep.
because he's still clearly in great shape. So I saw a
Vince
screenshot
McMahon.
of him on the show just sitting in a chair. I'm like, this dude is in a suit, looks ripped as shit with the fucking collar popped open. I'm like, dude, this fucking guy, that's his casual as he just takes off the tie.
Dude,
That's his casual.
he was wearing like fucking Air Jordans with his fucking suit, and I'm like, the hell's going on here? That's his casual like every Thursday he wears that when he's not in the office.
It's so fucking funny, dude. Like, I feel like seeing McMahon in a t-shirt would bother me. Like, I feel like seeing him in just a regular t-shirt would bother the shit out of me. I'd be like, dude, this is fucking weird. You look like someone's grandfather right now, but you're ripped. Dude's been cut for like fucking 40 years. Just
He's,
huge.
I'm telling you, man. He mark my words. He's gonna live to be like 140 years old.
Fuck.
The dude's almost
He would
80,
only
and look at
wish.
him.
If that dude could find a way to bury his money with him, he would. He'd be like, just burn it all. Just burn it all. When I go, burn it all. Ain't nobody taking any of that shit.
Probably.
Could you imagine? I wouldn't put that against McMahon at all.
At this point,
Fucking
I won't put
damn.
anything past the fucking guy, man.
I hope that they do WrestleMania right. I'm at this point accepting what the card is because as you know, I'm making the indefinite jump to AEW solely soon. But I'm gonna give WrestleMania a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance with the Stone Cold match. I'm gonna give it a chance with the Edge and AJ Styles match, which is gonna be fucking biblical. Like that, they're gonna tear the roof down, dude.
That's
Just
gonna
that
be
match
match of the
alone.
night. That's gonna be match of both nights. Like
Maybe.
I was excited for Lesnar and Reigns, but the fact that it's a reunification match, but they're not gonna reunify the titles, they're not gonna end the brand split. What's the point?
Yeah. So like, well, like, what's this whole? There's no end game.
Exactly.
Oh shit. Bless you.
I'm not looking forward to it. Did you see any clips from AEW Dynamite this week?
I saw the CM Punk MJF one.
What'd you think?
That is another match that's gonna tear the house down on Sunday. Man.
You excited for Sunday?
I won't be watching it, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
I just because of finances and all, because there's a lot going in this week for Batman. Everything I've had to do this week for I had to fucking stock up on these, and these aren't necessarily cheap, but I'm trying to keep the whole no fucking steak habit down until I can eventually stop these. So unfortunately, I won't be able to watch it, but I'm gonna keep up with it. I'm gonna keep up with it.
It's gonna be
100%.
it's gonna be a great show, man.
And unfortunately, if fucking the place where I watch Raw, AEW, fucking SmackDown, all that shit probably doesn't have the pay per views on it. So I doubt it. And if they do, I will be surprised. And someone is a very generous person because I would definitely watch it if that was the case.
Like AEW, like they go hard on their like weekly television shows, but it's nothing compared to like it's definitely worth the money.
Oh, 100%. I believe it. I believe it. I've heard that they go absolutely balls to the wall, batshit on fucking pay per views, dude. All the shit you want to see is there, and AEW is just the warm up to every pay per view.
Exactly. Tony Khan's the new owner of Ring of Honor. That's big news.
Yeah, I saw that announcement as well. I watched that clip as well. The whole fucking place was wild, dude. Like, and like I saw your comment too when people were like, "Oh, it should just say it's sole entity." I'm like, yeah, and I saw you clap back with like, "Well, they were fucking going out of business. They were losing money." So I mean, if fucking he didn't buy it, they would be indefinitely shelved. Like,
Yeah,
you were definitely spot on. You were spot on about that shit, man.
the pandemic destroyed Ring of Honor. Like they hadn't ran a show in over a year and a half.
Yeah, dude, the pandemic destroyed a lot, like, and they were one of the people that unfortunately didn't recover from it. But luckily, Tony Khan, man, like that dude is like low key, like outdoing Vince McMahon.
He
Like
spent
obviously
like
he
30
is,
or
but
he spent 30 or 40 million for it.
cool. Good for him and good for ROH, man, because ROH, man, they got a fucking stacked list of talents, man, and I'm stoked to see, the Hall of Fame ceremony because I'll definitely watch it because, you got fucking CM Punk going into the fucking Hall of Fame. You got fucking Bryan Danielson going into the Hall of Fame. You got a lot of these guys, so
The Briscoe
I'm stoked for it.
brothers.
Yep.
The Briscoes are
Absolutely.
crazy, man. If you watch some of their some of their promo videos that they post on Facebook, it's fucking nuts, man. They made a fucking 5-minute video just pretty much telling the Hardy Boys to go fuck themselves. It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
and then I saw I saw Hardy's clapback video as well. So, yeah, I really wanted to catch that show 100%. Like I really, really wanted to catch that show, but at the same time, I'm like, I know Enzo and Cass, and I kind of want to see them live. So, definitely gotta. I definitely gotta be in on that.
Oh, I want to meet Enzo so fucking bad, man.
Dottie said he bought the tickets, right?
I don't know if he bought the tickets.
He said he was gonna buy them today.
I'm gonna probably give him the money and he's gonna buy it because he
Yeah, I told him to buy mine too, and that I'd send him the money.
Yep. That's pretty much how it is. That way we can, you know, sit
All
together,
sit
whatever.
together and shit. Yeah. And I know that the photo ops and everything are separate, so when I send him the money, I'll probably pick up the photo op shit.
Donnie's really good though because he never asked for any kind of payment until like he told me when he bought my ticket to Blitzkrieg, he was like, I don't have to pay him until the day of the show, which I did. So you don't have to
Nice.
pay him until the day of the show, so it gives you time to save up.
Good shit.
So
Yeah, plus he makes like decent money, so he's sitting on some pretty good shit. I mean, look at his fucking studio now, man. Like that dude has a legit studio now.
yeah, he just bought a brand new microphone, man. That's what he
Yeah, he's
uses.
got the Shure SM7B. Fucking asshole. I told him about that. I was like, I've wanted that mic for literally fucking 12 years, you piece of shit.
It's not the Shure SM7B. It's the Shure MV something. It's the lower version of it. Pretty much the same
Oh,
concept, but with a
okay.
Shure SM7B, you need what do you call it? It's not like a USB microphone. You need
That's what, bro, an interface. Yeah,
yeah,
this is what. Yeah, that's what this mic is too. That's why I haven't used it yet. Is because I need the interface, and
yeah,
that's like $100, so I can't get that until next week.
yep. Definitely worth the investment though.
You know
So
what else I'm excited about? What's up?
what?
What's up? You go.
I think you were pretty much gonna say the same thing I am. You, my sir, are going to be seeing Matt Reeves' The Batman this evening. How do you feel? What do you think is going to happen? How do you think the movie's going to play out? And where would you, before you see the movie, where do you think you're going to be able to rank this with all the other Batman movies?
Right behind Dark Knight.
Mm.
And I'm not only just basing that on the reviews that are out right now and the Rotten Tomato scores and all that shit. Like I'm not basing it off that. I'm basing it off of the fact that we are going in a completely different direction and it's not going to be your typical Batman film.
Yeah.
It's set in 2002 and it's set with obviously Batman's year 2 story. So he's very much seen as, a criminal still, a vigilante. The PD doesn't trust him. The only person that's allowing him to keep this going is Gordon right now because he's lieutenant. And obviously, that's still pretty high ranking. It's not commissioner yet, but it's still lieutenant. He's the only one that really needs Batman. Like he needs Batman's help. And I'm digging the fact that we're going in more of a grounded, gritty, noir detective story.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're going in for the world's greatest detective storyline, and I'm also really stoked that we're getting Paul Dano's Riddler in the capacity that we're getting him in more of a serial killer. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very based off of a real serial killer in real life, and it's not. I know he's not necessarily. He's not called the Trinity Killer. I just the Zodiac Killer.
Yep.
He's fucking he's based off the Zodiac Killer, and from what I read from the reviews is that he's very Jigsaw like from Saw, which I really fuck with. So if that's the case, Saw is one of my favorite franchises of all time. You know this. We literally
Yep.
binged all of the movies in one fucking day, which is
I own them
fucking
all,
awesome.
man.
It's fucking awesome. So, like I'm really stoked for a Batman film in this capacity to be played out like a horror film. So I'm really stoked about that. And I'm really stoked that that Matt Reeves, War of Planet of the
Yep.
Apes, all that shit. I'm stoked that he wanted to make a Batman movie in a way that he would want to see it, and WB backed that entirely and let him get away with a lot for this movie. So I'm also really stoked for the makeup and wardrobe department and what they have cooking, because obviously Colin Farrell looks absolutely fucking unrecognizable. Like I'm really stoked on what the Gotham feel is gonna be, like the setting of Liverpool. Fucking I think they filmed in Chicago a little bit, Liverpool. Liverpool was a huge influence on this one. They were in London for like a good portion of
I
this
know. I
movie.
watched some of the like making of like
Yeah.
people that were on set or whatever, and they were like
Mhm.
filming.
Yeah, I watched some of it as well, and like I'm really fucking stoked for that because like Matt Reeves is also very well known for making the setting a character in his films, and I'm really stoked to see how that feels and that kind of nuance. I think ultimately that the runtime is also what really fascinates me as well, is that we get a decent chunk of time to really explore this fucking individual, and I'm
Yep.
stoked that it's a dude that's lost in Batman right now, that he doesn't even want to be Bruce Wayne. I'm stoked that he's dealing with a bunch of mental illnesses as well. and that's going to play a huge part in
It
the
almost
movie
seems
as
like this
well.
film is like a psychological thriller in a way.
And I think that's where it's going. Like, and I think that's where it's going, and I'm hoping that that's like the outcome of it. So what I'm gonna tell you is, in terms of my expectations, I am very open, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm very open to interpretation. I'm very curious as to what Matt's gonna bring to this specifically,
Yeah.
because every director has their own, excuse me, has their own spin on things. Christopher Nolan had a very established Batman. Zack Snyder had a very old, fucking just burnt out, just run down, fucking ready to just be done with all of it, Batman.
Yeah.
And now we're finally getting to see a young Batman, like a super fucking young Batman that literally has little to no fucking idea of what he's doing. And I'm stoked in a weird way to see him fail. Like, I'm stoked to see him fail. Like, I'm stoked to see like where I'm stoked to see what the moment is that makes him know when he's going too far. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really stoked to see where his line is drawn, and I'm stoked to see what causes that. Because he beats the holy hell out of a lot of people in this movie. Apparently, like he gets on, like, apparently he beats up. And I guess this isn't really a spoiler, but it's kind of like a detail of the film. Apparently, he beats the Riddler so bad to the point where he's about to die, and Bruce stops. Like, he's
Wow.
about to beat him to death and just stops. Like, when there that scene in the trailer where you see him just, not like when he brought down the dude and the face paint and everything,
Yeah.
but that scene where he's just beating the shit out of somebody and you see Catwoman kind of back up in fear. Like, that's him beating the shit out of the Riddler. Like, that's when he's just going in. Like, I'm curious as to how they're going to portray the Waynes in this as well, and like what they were a part of with Carmine Falcone. That's another thing, is I'm stoked for fucking John Turturro's fucking Arthur Falcone. Like, I'm stoked to see his spin on it, because he's a very different embodiment of Falcone. Because we got this guy in Batman Begins, who is I hate that I can't remember his name, but he's a fantastic fucking actor.
Yeah.
He was fucking awesome. But since then, we haven't really seen a Carmine Falcone. But we may have in Gotham, but you and I maybe saw like 3 episodes and said fuck that and shut that off.
I
But
actually, I actually, back in 2018 or 2019, I just went through this fucking, like, you know how you go through phases or whatever, and like, you watch a movie or something, and then you get obsessed with, like,
yeah,
sort of a storyline or a character or whatever. So
and then you want to see differences of you wanted to see like the
I
differences.
I binge watched all the seasons of Gotham from the very first episode.
Was there a Carmine Falcone?
Yes, and
Was he good?
that show is fucking phenomenal, dude. The Scarecrow, oh my fucking god, that's the Scarecrow I wish they would have put in Batman Begins.
Yeah, Crane. No, well, Cillian Murphy I thought was fucking fantastic as Crane.
Yeah, I like Cillian Murphy, but I'm talking about, like, like the prosthetics and the look of
Yeah.
the Scarecrow. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And I feel like Crane has been very watered down in recent takes, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the full embodiment in another director's eyes.
This is
Just like
this is the first time we're seeing the Riddler in a live action besides Batman Forever with Jim Carrey, which that was more of like a
comic book.
comic book. This is more based on real life serial killer. Are you familiar at all with Paul Dano? Like,
With Paul Dano, I know he was recently in Okja with Steven Yeun from fucking
Walking
Walking
Dead?
Dead. But I'm not really familiar with Paul Dano's work, other than the fact that I know he's a powerhouse actor.
I suggest you watch this movie Prisoners with
Okay, I've heard of it.
Jake Gyllenhaal, and Hugh Jackman. Paul Dano's in it. He plays a suspect that might be involved with the murder and kidnapping of these two little girls, who is Hugh Jackman's daughters.
Oh,
Paul
fuck.
Dano is fucking phenomenal in this movie, dude. You gotta watch it.
All right, so that is going on my bucket list tonight if I'm like up late enough.
It
'Cause
came
I
out. It
definitely
came
want to
out
watch
in
it.
like 2012 or 2013. Such a good fucking movie,
Yeah,
dude.
dude, I'll definitely watch it, dude. Like for sure. But I know that he's a powerhouse actor, so I'm excited to see his spin on another serial killer type demographic of a character. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But ultimately, long story short, in the swing of things, I am beyond excited to see this film. I've been waiting for it for over 2 fucking years now since we saw the first look. It's been a 5 years in the making film. I'm stoked for it. Matt Reeves hopped on in 2017, and we're finally coming full circle, and we get to see it finally. So I'm really
Unfortunately,
stoked.
I'm not going to be able to go. Waited too long to get tickets, and but there is a possibility that you said you might definitely want to go again. So there's a possibility that we'll be hitting up the theater next week at some point,
Hell
seeing
yeah,
it,
man.
and we'll definitely have like a full podcast to where we review the movie, talk about it. Hopefully by next week, enough people see it to where we won't get fucking bitched at if we do talk about spoilers. So that'll be
Well,
good.
here's the thing. With that podcast, we can make a podcast, but we can also vlog some of it as well, and then put
Yep,
that in the middle of the podcast, cut a good chunk of time for that, and then finish out the podcast because that would be a fucking sick ass video. A
definitely, man.
nice little Batman and just a whole Batman themed fucking podcast where we talk nothing but Batman in the film. Because I'm
I
stoked for it, dude.
I heard. Now I don't know
What's
if
up?
this is true, but I think it is because I read it in some like big major publication that on just the Thursday night showings, the Batman has already made almost $30 million.
Yes. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Let me actually look up the stats now, currently.
Yeah, check it out, man, because it's been out
Yeah,
for a couple hours. It's 2:30. It's been out for a couple hours. Um, I'm looking forward to it. Everybody that has been reviewing it or talking about it online has been saying it's such a great film. He's got a look on his face. He's got a look on his face. What's up, man? You going into shock, man. Your face is gonna get stuck like that. What's up?
fuck.
What?
Um, so deadline. This is currently March 1st, 4:31. Um, so oh, that's for projections. Uh,
We're not gonna get the nothing about the opening weekend is gonna be put out until probably like either Monday or Tuesday. That's usually like when like the opening weekend
it
stats come out.
is so global. It is expected to jump to 225 million plus.
I have a feeling this movie is gonna be bigger than Spider-Man.
I don't know about that only in terms of the nostalgia and the fan service that we got, but I do see this being right in line with Dark Knight capacity. Like the people are going to be talking about this for years. Like
And
I feel like they're going to be talking about it for years. And they got a spin-off show coming out on fucking HBO Max
they have
with
they have
Lieutenant Gordon,
they have a spin-off show involving Gordon and I believe with
Gotham
Riddler.
PD. Yep, and Gotham PD.
And I believe this is going to be setting up a sequel. So it might end on somewhat of a cliffhanger, maybe. I don't know.
They've already discussed the sequel and everything, and they're already aiming down villains. And the first name that got pulled out of the hat was fucking Freeze,
That would be
and
awesome.
that would be fucking today, dude. Oh fuck, dude! I'm telling you this now. If they start filming it and they get Freeze, when you see that motherfucker on for the first time ever in the trailer, I'm going to fucking flip
You know
this
who I
shit.
would cast?
For Freeze?
Patrick Stewart from Star
No.
Trek.
Oh, from fucking X-Men? Yeah, no, I would.
He reminds me so much of the Victor Freeze from the Batman the Animated Series. He's bald. He's got that shaped head. You know what I mean?
No,
I
I
mean,
gotcha.
if they're going in that kind of a direction, who would you pick if they did cast Freeze?
Mads Mikkelsen.
I can see it.
Do you know who Mads Mikkelsen is?
I know of him. I don't know much about
Have you
his
seen?
filmography.
Okay, have you seen Doctor Strange?
I saw bits and parts of it. I never saw the
He's the
full
main
film.
villain. He's Cassalius. He's the main villain. He's also in a movie called Polar on Netflix, which is a very graphic fucking comic book movie, and it's fucking sick. So give that shit a check. Like, I'll tell you this much about that character real quick before I continue. Um, In Polar, he is a dude that is about to retire from being a hitman, basically, and the company that he works for, Damocles, owes him like 8 point something million dollars for his retirement in 2 weeks. So he's about to get like $8 million cash in 2 weeks for his 50th birthday when he retires. So he's still an active, assassin,
Yeah.
and so if he dies before his retirement comes up for his 50th birthday, his company gets that money instead. So, because he's retiring, the leader of his company sends out a group of hitmen to take him out so they can get that money. But
Ooh,
he ends up wiping out all of them. All of them. And then he gets tortured for 3 days straight, like stabbed, whipped, they fucking cut his fucking eye out, basically. Like, they do everything. Last day
damn.
comes around. Last day comes around. What happens? He took the blade that got stuck in his side and pickpocketed and unlocked the fucking cuffs, had the person come in, broke his fucking neck, took his gun, and killed everybody in one go. It was nuts. But yeah, so I would say Mads Mikkelsen. He's a Danish actor. I would definitely go with Mads Mikkelsen, 100%. And if you want that gritty feel and a very facially emotional actor, Mads Mikkelsen,
Didn't
hands
they?
down.
Didn't they have? I heard there was a lot of talks about this possibly being in the same universe as Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
No, that is false.
That's false.
It is. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker takes place in 1981. This Batman movie takes place in 2002, and they are completely different worlds.
I swear I heard somewhere that they were like in the same universe because they were talking about how because they were obviously making a Joker Part 2 and it was gonna have Robert Pattinson as Batman in it or something like that. I don't know.
So this is Mads Mikkelsen, and this is like my 100%, like I'm cashing it in. Like that is my pick to play fucking Freeze. Let me see. This is like a this is a screenshot out of a video game that he's in called Death Stranding, but this is literally his face.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah, he's a Danish actor. And he's got like a really deep and just gritty fucking voice, and he also has a Danish accent, which will help with the accent of Freeze.
Do you think it'd be like? Do you think he would have like some kind of like CGI on him, or do you like what? How do you think the prosthetics would
Oh,
look?
um, so if are you asking me how I would design the suit?
Yeah, because there's so many different reincarnations from the comic books, from the 1966 TV show, Batman the Animated Series. There's so many different reincarnations of Mr. Freeze. Which one would you go with? Or would you try something new that hasn't been done yet?
Obviously, if I were to create, my own spin on Freeze, I would want to do my own personal design. I would obviously want to do something that hasn't been done yet.
Yep.
But if I were to inspire it off of anything, it actually wouldn't be anything that you've seen out of the movies or anything. It would be
Oh,
actually be
really?
something that you would see out of one of the Batman games, not the Arkham games, the Telltale games. Um, Victor Freeze,
I played the Telltale games.
the Batman one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's the one. That's how I would design. That's what I would base the suit design off of. Victor Freeze from Telltale Batman.
That
I
could
would design
definitely
it
possibly work.
where it's not so much as like CGI. You would have to like paint his face and shit like that tone, but you could use like After Effects to like give it that fucking glow and shit. Like that's
Yeah.
as much as I would. That's as far as I would go, and give him the iconic goggles and everything as well. But I wouldn't put a shit ton of CGI on it because there's no need for it. The only CGI that I would put is like the glass of his helmet, like the freeze cracks on it and shit, and like the fucking mist on the inside. I would put for CGI, but like nothing for his face or like nothing to morph him. Just because Mads Mikkelsen is 100% confirmed one of the greatest facial actors there are. Like his expressions are, you can't outdo them. Like he's an expressional actor, and he is a good method actor as well. Like dude can make himself cry on command and everything. Like it's great. Like the dude
I
is great.
when this movie first got announced, there were so many different things that people were gonna say like was gonna take place within the Batman. I heard that it was gonna be more based off the Arkham Asylum game, to where Batman is like somebody, a villain or whatever, takes over Arkham Asylum, and he has to go in there and he has to fight all kinds of villains or whatever. That there were
Yeah.
talks about the movie possibly being that. Do you think we would ever see that? And how many members of the Rogues Gallery would you put in, like, either the sequel or the sequel after the Batman
What
2?
was that last part of the question? The how many what would I put?
How many members of the Rogues Gallery would you put in the next film?
Uh well, let me elaborate on the whole like Arkham shit first because that's already on the table for the sequel. Matt
Yeah.
Reeves has already stated that if he were to do a sequel, he would have it connected to Arkham Asylum. So I would honestly be completely open to seeing a lot of villains in that particular sequel. Obviously, take your couple leading characters, your couple leading villains to like run the whole shabacle, but I'm open to seeing almost everybody in the sequel. Like, even if they're just in Arkham Asylum trapped there for whatever, and then they're gonna be out and about later on in the Batverse. Like I'm open to anything. Like I'm 100% open to interpretation. So honestly, as many members of the fucking Rogue Gallery as you'd want. Like I'm totally open to interpretation. Like
I want to
I'm
see
so excited.
a live action Clayface.
I want to see a live action fucking Gizmo as well. Like I want to see a live action Gizmo. He's going to be in Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League
Yeah.
in the video game where Samoa Joe is playing King Shark. But I haven't. I want to see a live action Gizmo. Just because, like, it'd be interesting to see all of his shit just going haywire live action. Like, that'd be fucking nuts, dude. I want to see a fucking a decent, like, I want Joe Manganiello back as fucking Slade Wilson. Like I want to see a good live action Slade Wilson. Like I loved Manu Bennett in Arrow. I loved Manu Bennett's fucking Slade Wilson. Do not get me wrong. That is my favorite live action so far. However, I want to see a good movie one, and unfortunately, we got screwed out of seeing an amazing one. So
Dude,
yeah.
you would honestly be shocked when you really look at, like, all the members of the Batman's Rogue Gallery. You would be shocked at how many have never been outside of the comic books.
Yeah, there's a
There's
lot, dude.
so many, dude.
And that's why I'm loving the fact that we're getting so much DC content. We're getting a live action Firefly with fucking Brendan Fraser and Batgirl, dude. Like I'm so excited for it. Like I'm not excited for Batgirl or Batwoman, whatever, but I'm excited to see Brendan Fraser back. So I'm gonna go see that movie. And J.K. Simmons is playing Gordon again in the movie.
Yeah.
So I am excited to see that. I'm excited to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly, which we haven't really seen in a live action, really. Like I'm excited for shit like that. I'm excited that a lot more of these lesser known characters from the comics are making their way to the front lines and to be able to see the light of day in pop culture.
Yep.
So honestly, I'm completely open to as many characters as you want in the fucking movie, man.
There's just so much you can do, man.
Clayface would be fucking incredible live action.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
I want to see a
Clayface
live
would be
action
fucking
Clayface.
awesome. I want to see fuck. I want to see a good live action Teen Titans movie, dude. Like an actual good live, not the fucking Titan show that we got on fucking HBO
That
Max.
show
That was
is
a fucking
so
travesty.
good.
I heard it was a travesty.
That
man.
show is so fucking good, dude.
I'll probably give it a watch.
It's fucking brutal as fuck.
I know, but at the same time, there's a lot of fuckery that happens in that show too. So I'm gonna give it a solid go. Obviously, I give myself a good 3 to 4 episodes of a show before I say
The first like 3 or 4 episodes is very slow, but once you start getting into it, dude, I fucking binge watched the fucking season 1 and season 2. I couldn't stop.
Well, I think season 3 is out now, so
I haven't seen season 3 yet, but I had to stop myself, man. I was going
Bruce
fucking
Wayne's
crazy.
in it. Bruce Wayne's in it, and the dude that plays Bruce Wayne is the dude from Resident Evil.
What?
And Game of Thrones.
Do yourself a favor and watch it, man. I have a feeling you'll really enjoy it.
Hey, man, and like I said, I'm open to it. Like I just have a lot of shows that I'm watching currently, but I will make it as one of those shows that I watch while I'm at work and the pastime and stuff.
Well, you got to let me know when you do watch it, and you can come and give everybody your review on the show because it's really a good show, a very underrated show.
Dude, I'm open to anything DC that involves heavy influences of Batman, so I am down for it. I do, however, want a good live action Teen Titans movie. Like, I do want a good
Yeah,
live action with new actors, a good director, good producers, fucking awesome makeup wardrobe department. Like, I want to see all that shit. Like I really, I want to see all that shit, but I also want to see a good live action fucking Beast Boy, dude. Like, I want to see a good live action Beast Boy where the fucking where they go to Weta, the same fucking company that worked on all of Lord of the Rings fucking After Effects and shit. Like, I want them to go
yeah.
to Weta and do a live action Beast Boy. Like, that shit would be sick as fuck. And imagine Raven, holy shit. I don't know who I'd cast as Raven because that's just like I would have to cast that perfectly because dude, that's what
Dude,
gave me my fucking interest in the women that I do.
Beast Beast Boy in the Teen Titans show, it's fucking hysterical. His first,
Like, wait, live action
yeah,
in the it's a Titan show?
in the Titan show, man. The first time you see Beast Boy, he's like in a video game store trying to steal fucking video games. It's
That's
fucking
funny.
hilarious. He's like a giant ass alligator, and then he turns into a fucking tiger. It's fucking
That's
crazy.
awesome. That's awesome, dude. I'll give it a shot just because for the sole purpose of it's the Titans, so I have to. I do want to see Aqualad, I guess, just
Yeah.
because I'm interested. I'm interested in like those smaller characters. I'm interested in like a good Starfire. Like, like there's some things like Starfire I'm not sold on from Titans. They made her look like a fucking prostitute in the first season. So I'm like, dude, that casting was awful. I don't
Who
care.
was it? Fucking Raven in the Teen Titans show. She has a fucking dark story. Like her mom, you see her mom get brutally fucking murdered in the first episode. No, like
Okay. Oh, okay, man. All right, that's already a spoiler. Chill, chill, chill.
I know
But I do
you
have to
gotta
fucking
watch
watch it though,
it so we can talk about it, man. Because
dude. Absolutely. Like I said, I am completely open to watching Titans. I'm completely open. Like, dude, if you haven't checked it out yet, my favorite animated Batman anything right now is Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2. Those are my favorite animated Batman movies right now.
I have them. I have them. I just haven't watched them yet. There's some. They're here
Bro,
somewhere.
bro, fucking they made Two-Face look threatening. Like, they made Two-Face a legitimate force. Like, he's like the main villain of this entire fucking Part 1 and 2. And you know who
Oh god.
plays Batman in that, right?
Who?
Jensen Ackles.
Oh shit.
He plays Batman's voice in that movie. And you know who plays fucking you know who plays Two-Face? Harvey Dent?
Who?
Josh Duhamel.
I don't know who that is.
What? You don't know who Josh Duhamel is? All right, hold up.
Check it out, man.
Exactly. You're fucking up, dude. Watch
I know.
that shit. And dude, Scarecrow in that is fucking pretty sick too. And the dude that play Dave Dalshmalkian plays fucking Calendar Man.
Dude, I have so many movies that I have to watch. I just saw I watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre finally. I actually really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but it was just rough. That's Josh Duhamel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he plays fucking Harvey Dent in that shit. Troy Baker plays the Joker. Fucking you got Solomon Grundy in that shit. Same dude who's always played Solomon Grundy.
Um,
Jack Quaid's in it too.
Jack Quaid is in the new Scream movie.
Yeah, he plays fucking Falcone's son. Jack Quaid plays Falcone's son in it. Unfortunately, the chick who plays Selena Kyle in these movies actually didn't live long enough to see these movies. She actually passed away saving her son from drowning in one of the Great Lakes. She was from Glee.
Oh wow.
So she unfortunately never got to see it, but she finished her lines in both of them.
I know exactly who the fuck you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, she unfortunately passed away and couldn't see the movie, and unfortunately, dude, that would have skyrocketed her shit because those movies were fantastic.
Yeah, I
Like,
bought them both. I just haven't watched them yet.
so you remember how I was telling you how like I pumped up fucking Under the Red Hood, and that was like my favorite fucking animated Batman movie of all time?
Yep.
Not anymore.
Oh really?
Long Halloween takes that spot for me. It is my favorite Batman animated anything. And
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles signed up again for another one.
Yeah, I got
So-
I got the Long Halloween Part 1, but I heard from somebody that it sort of leaves you off on a cliffhanger or whatever, and I didn't
Yep.
want to watch it until I got Part
Yep.
2. And then I got Part 2 and I just got really
Bro.
really busy and I haven't watched them yet.
I'm gonna tell you this now. You're gonna watch that movie, both of them, and become re-obsessed.
I'll probably watch them tonight.
I watched both of them and binged every single Batman animated anything that had to do with anything Batman. Like literally, I
Oh,
watched
really?
Bad Blood, I watched Death of the Family, I watched everything. Like I watched every animated Batman movie, including Batman Ninja. Like I watched
You
everything,
want to know
dude.
what Batman animated movie I want to watch that I haven't seen
What?
yet?
Which one?
I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it, but it has Jack the Ripper in it.
Oh, that's Batman Hush.
No, it's not Hush. It takes place in like the red light district or whatever, where Jack the Ripper like
I've seen it.
committed
Yeah.
his murders. I just can't remember. I just can't remember the name of it. I know it's not Hush though. It came out like 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember the name of it, but I've been wanting to see that. I just haven't gotten it yet. I I have so many movies that I want to
Oh,
see.
yeah, I've already seen it. Gotham by Gaslight.
Yep,
I've already
yep,
seen it.
yep,
It's on
yep.
HBO. It's on HBO Max. All of the Batman movies are on HBO Max. Every single Batman, including the animated series.
Are these on?
Everything.
Are these on it?
Yes.
I'm gonna watch it then.
That's where I watched them, was HBO Max. Like literally, if you go to the DC hub and you go to Batman, you'll find all the Batman movies, all of the animated movies, all of the Flashpoint paradoxes on it, Assault on Arkham's on it, everything is on it.
I heard
Including Batman Beyond and
I
Return of Joker.
I heard on well, I didn't hear. I read on like a Facebook post or whatever. You said somewhere that you had recently binge watched like all the old original Batman movies. What'd you think?
I did.
What'd you think about revisiting them?
I think obviously revisiting them as an adult was the smart move, and it was the way to go because I have such a huge appreciation for them now. I have a huge appreciation for the practical sets. I have a huge appreciation for practical lighting. I really, really dig Michael Keaton's performance. I really, really liked Val Kilmer's, like oddly, a lot.
I like
Um,
Batman Forever a lot.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like really, really liked Val Kilmer's Batman for whatever fucking reason, but I really did. Um, and then I saw Batman and Robin, of course, many fucking times. So I mean, I didn't really expect much of difference there, and of course,
Dude,
not much difference.
I remember where I was when I first saw Batman and Robin. I was in Rhode Island on vacation with my mother, and she took me to a drive-in to see that. When
Hell yeah, dude.
I was like 6.5 years old, and even like back then, when I was that age, I was like, "This is the greatest movie on the fucking planet." And then I revisited years later, and I'm like, "No, the fuck, it's not."
No, the fuck. What the fuck is this shit? But yeah, like I said, I have a huge appreciation for them now, and I'm really glad that I sat down and I did that rewatch when I did because it got me really excited for this movie that I'm gonna go see tonight because now I get to compare and contrast all of them. So
Can
now I
we
can be like, all right, you can rank them now.
Can we just sit here and both agree that it's a good movie. It's a lot better than Batman and Robin. But can we just both sit here and agree that the music choices for Batman Forever are fucking fantastic?
Absolutely,
The music in that
absolutely.
movie is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that had one of, if not one of, arguably one of the greatest Batman soundtracks there are.
Dude,
100%.
Seal, Kiss from a Rose, dude. That shit.
There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. Fucking love
Dude,
that shit, dude. Kiss from a Rose is the shit, man.
dude,
And it was made for Batman.
that had to be the best soundtrack of any Batman movie.
The most sensitive of all the Batmans. As Jack Black likes to put it. Batman Forever, the most sensitive of all the Batmans.
I would consider the Batman and Robin to be the most sensitive of all the Batmans.
Probably, but that was just fucking cheeseball ass of a movie though. It was so fucking cheesy, dude. Like I couldn't fucking believe it myself, but yeah, like I said, that was probably a one and done for me. I just couldn't care about it. But the others, not bad, man. Like I'm really glad that I went back because it made me really, really appreciate Jack Nicholson's Joker again, which I knew was obviously a great fucking rendition because when I was a kid and I saw his death scene for the first time, it haunted my nightmares for years. So like, yeah, that's what really I think Jack Nicholson's Joker, other than obviously Mark Hamill's, but Jack Nicholson's Joker really set the tone in like the Joker universe for me.
Yep.
So I do have to say that, rewatching that and getting to really appreciate his performance was great.
Did you think all these years later that we would be getting Michael Keaton back in the bat suit again?
It's a really surreal feeling getting Michael Keaton back in the bat suit. Seeing him back in the bat suit's pretty sick too. I don't know if you saw the screenshots of him like in the middle of like the street light, like in a fight stance,
Yeah,
like
I
in the
sent I
suit
sent
again.
I sent them to you. I saw them on social media and I sent them to you.
Yeah, John had sent them to me too. But yeah, they're fucking dude. Like seeing him in the suit again is nuts, bro. Like I'm stoked that they're obviously setting it up for him to train Terry McGinnis. Like I know that they're obviously setting it up because Batman Beyond live action just got a green light not too long ago. So like we know that it's coming.
Dude, there was
So
a
like at this point,
there was a Batman Beyond script that was circulating in Hollywood for like 20 years, and it was written by Paul Dini, who was one of the co-creators of the animated series. And
mm,
he said that executives liked it, but for whatever reason back then they didn't greenlight it. They were gonna try and make that movie after Batman and Robin. They were gonna have it set in like the 90s or whatever, but the movie was gonna come out in like 2000 2001, and that was
mm,
supposed to like be like the paradox where the Batman films go. But for whatever reason, the script was done. It just got put in a vault somewhere. So maybe they're I don't know if it's gonna be a new script or if they're gonna just use that script because Paul Dini is a fucking king.
yeah. I think if they were to use that script, there would definitely be a lot of revisions made because it was written so long ago and times have
Probably.
obviously changed. But I am really hopeful that they will, serve the source material and like, the show like fucking I hope they serve it justice, Like I really hope that, it thrives. It's a show or movie that needs to see the light of day. Terry McGinnis needs to make his debut just like Miles Morales needs to make his debut in the Spider-Verse. It's inevitable, but we just don't know when.
Dude, it took me years to finally like come to terms that Terry McGinnis is Eric Matthews from Boy Meets World. It took me years to come to terms, and plays the magic dude from fucking My Date with the President's Daughter. Remember that?
Mhm. Yeah.
It's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, man, it's weird how life comes full circle and the shit you don't know, man. It's crazy. But like I said, this refers back to Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne casting. Originally, I would have seen him as a Terry McGinnis before I saw him as Bruce.
Yep.
But with the details that are out now and why that he was chosen has come to surface, I'm a little bit more on board with it. So I don't know who I would cast as Terry, honestly. Like I don't know who I could possibly cast for something like that because there's not a lot of younger actors out there that could really go for it. And I'm not gonna go with Tom Holland. I'm sick of going with Tom Holland. Sick of
What
it.
about Ryan Reynolds?
Too old.
He has the humor. I mean,
Too old.
depending on depending. I mean, I don't know.
Terry was in his early 20s, bro. If that.
Well, well, who in their early 20s would you see being cast as Terry McGinnis? Who can also, it can be justified that yes, this dude is Batman. This dude kicks ass.
Uh Man, that is a very good question. That is a very good question. I right off the bat, like I said, I don't know who I would cast him as. Like right off the bat, I couldn't tell you. Like I'd have. There's not a lot of you know. They don't have to obviously be big because Terry wasn't big by any means. Like he was like almost average build, is built like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Back in Twilight, not Batman, because Batman he actually put on a little bit of weight.
But
And
if
I
you
saw
say
it.
Ryan Reynolds is too old, I mean, Robert Pattinson and him are pretty much the same age, right?
No, Ryan Reynolds is going into 50 soon, and Robert Pattinson is just like 32, 33.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, if that.
He
Yeah.
seems a lot older than that, man.
That's because he's been smoking cigarettes for God knows how fucking long now, man. That shit puts age on you.
And he it came out that he didn't like working out for the role of Batman. He didn't feel like he needed to.
No, that's actually false. That actually got squashed. It's not that he didn't want to work out. He didn't want to get big as people were wanting him to get because he's like, bro, this is a fucking origin story. Basically, he's like Batman wasn't always fucking big. He wasn't ripped right off the fucking bat, dude. No pun intended, but he wasn't ripped right off the bat. Like this is an early Bruce Wayne that doesn't even know what the fuck he wants to do, yet alone get in physical shape. He's getting into physical shape as he's going.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I don't expect to see a huge like pump scene in the movie. I'm expecting him to just be in shape because of what he's been doing. Like Batman didn't start getting big until he was established.
Yeah.
Like that dude had to get through the nooks and crannies first before putting time aside. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get jacked today. I don't expect a new Batman to be ripped by any means. I don't expect that. So I'm behind him on that. Like, I don't think he needs to be fucking huge. Especially for year 2.
It's gonna be weird, especially like seeing like, because obviously when Batman Beyond does come out, they're gonna have to revisit the origin story of how Bruce Wayne gave up being Batman, because it's the only thing that made sense.
Yeah.
They did it in what was it, Batman Return of the Joker. They did it where he goes to the airplane hangar or whatever, and he gets his ass kicked pretty much. They have an older Bruce Wayne there, and then he just pretty much gives up being Batman. Who would you cast to be like an older version of Batman? Somebody that seems like they've been beaten down, they're wear and tear, they can't do the job anymore. Like, because that's an important key element to the story.
So you want me to like choose somebody who I would choose to be like an old man Batman?
Yeah, like the begin, not like an older guy, but like
like in their like 50s, like
yeah.
50s going like reaching their like past mid 50s.
Yeah.
So if you want my honest answer to that, but it's unfortunate because he's already got a role in the DC universe and he's already playing something of a Batman character, but I would go with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. 100%. But he's already playing Thomas Wayne in Flashpoint, and there's a good chance you might see him in November as Thomas Wayne. Because I'm assuming either Ben Affleck is either going to die, or he's going to find Thomas Wayne in the alternate universe and decide to stay. So I'm assuming that may be one of the fucking ways he goes out. I don't know, but I'm hoping that's the way, because if that's the case, we get to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as fucking Flashpoint Batman again, because he's been wanting to go back and play him. So for years he's been wanting to. And he was supposed to. He was signed up at one point.
I can't wait till Flashpoint. I heard that's gonna reinvigorate the entire like DCU.
It is 100%. It is going to reboot it in a way. The Flash is where it happens in November.
In reality, compared to the MCU, the DCU, there's not much that goes into it. There's the Justice League, there's Batman v Superman, and there's Suicide Squad. Outside of that, what else do they have? No other Batman film is a part of that. Or Superman. I mean, maybe Man of Steel.
I don't know. I feel like fucking WB hates Henry Cavill because like he's been ready to come back and he's still got the cape and everything. He's just waiting on a call. Nothing. It's like, bro, there was literally nothing wrong with his Superman. He was the best Superman, period, including over Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, but there's no point in bringing him back right now anyway, and not at least until the Flashpoint movie comes out, because especially if they're going to reboot it, they might want to revisit it at some point. They're just waiting for the, perfect time to.
Yeah, Superwoman or Supergirl's going to be in it. So
yeah, man.
Like, she might be the fucking super going forward, and then Michael Keaton's the new Batman going forward, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. WB sucks cock at literally doing anything involving DC. So
yeah, man. But
yeah, like I'm excited to see what this Batman entails. So I'll let you know about that in the next one.
I'm excited to see it too. But I mean, we've gone almost an hour. I know you want to probably get ready and do some stuff before you go see the movie tonight. I have to get the kids off the bus in a few minutes. So I think we call that a podcast, man.
Absolutely, man. It's been absolutely fantastic. And, like always, thank you guys again for watching the Two Sticks and Pure Age podcast right here on YouTube for the visuals, but all the audio is spread across various platforms, which you can find right now.
Make sure you guys check us out. Follow us on all our social medias. Links are in the description. And we'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Two Sticks and Pure Age podcast.
And it's going to be another fully from start to finish, front to fucking back, left to right, all Batman. So we will see you guys in the next one. That one's going to have really cool shit. Like always, take it easy, stay safe, be safe, take care. Dan, let's take it out.
Have a good night, everybody.